Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to the NEXXTCAR Podcast. That is right, folks. We are back in it for Season 10, getting ready to kick off here in 2 weeks. But hey, it is time to bring the podcast back here for the NEXXTCAR Racing League, and it all gets kicked off tonight. And to help us count down to the green flag at Daytona to kick off Season 10, well, it is none other than the two podcast co-hosts we have had for the last 9 seasons. Matt Tucker, Payne Tillock. What's going on, boys?
What's up, Ronnie?
How's it going?
Not much, 9 seasons we've been in NEXXTCAR. Absolutely crazy thing to think about. But hey, Season 10 is right around the corner. And what's a better way to get Season 10 kicked off than bringing the podcast back?
Yeah, I mean, season 9, it was a banger. We had most competitive season probably in NEXXTCAR history with the Truck Series, and ended up with a first-time champion at the end of it that we'll talk about. So overall, we had our challenges throughout the whole season, but we got through it and ended up having a strong end of it. So happy for us getting through it, and looking forward to season 10 next couple weeks.
Yeah, it was a really awesome season 9, Ronnie. I mean, from start to finish, the skill from the start of the field to the back, just how many guys we had all season, and even ended on a high note with a lot of guys showing up for that championship race. So, and like Tuck said, we got a new champion, so we'll get to him in a little bit. But overall, really awesome season. Can't wait to see how we grow on it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I want to go back to something you talked about, Tuck. You talked about the adversity and challenges that NEXXTCAR faced in Season 9. It started off absolutely killing it. We'll get to the numbers here in a minute, but Season 9 got kicked off on a high note, and unfortunately, though, we had to shut down operations on Monday night. But hey, Season 10, we're hoping to get both series back up on Sunday and Monday night like we've had in the past. And, you mentioned it, the adversity took one step back, but we took 3 steps forward. We turned everything. We shut down Monday night's operations, focused all hands on deck on Sunday nights. And like you said, we had the most drivers we've ever had. We turned around when the playoffs started. We still had drivers out there competing, whether they were in the playoffs or not. So that was great to see. The championship race, we had the most drivers we've ever had in the championship race, whether they were in the championship battling it out or they were just along for the ride there to see who got the championship. So definitely great to see there, Tuck, of the loyalty.
Yeah, I mean, we had 16 guys that ended up racing in the championship race. So that's probably the biggest turnout that we've had, like for any championship race. So shout out to all those guys that showed up. I mean, that means that 12 guys that were not even in the championship hunt raced in the race because there was still a win on the line. So yeah, overall, I mean, that was a good race. And then, like we said, season 9 champion was a new one. So we had a little bit of controversy at the end of the race, but what's not NEXXTCAR with some little bit of controversy. So yeah, it was overall good run. I mean, you didn't really, like you said, you didn't really know who was going to win the championship, and it all came down to the end. And yeah, it was a good season.
Like you said, is it ever truly a NEXXTCAR race if people aren't mad at each other, ready to kill each other? No, it is not. We're known for the drama. We're known for the fantastic finishes. And, we had that all season long, Peyton. But going back to what Tuck had just said, we had 16 drivers, 12 of those not in a battle, but you had, which is what makes motorsports so great, is you're not at home watching it on the couch if you don't make the playoffs or the championship race. You're still out there competing with these guys bumper to bumper, door to door. And we saw that heavily at Kansas in the championship race. We saw where some non-playoff drivers were getting ready to change the outcome of that championship race.
Yeah, and you saw it all year long, Ronnie. Like, it didn't matter first race to the end. Guys wanted to add their names to NEXXTCAR history, go out there, get wins. We had a lot of guys win their first race in the league this season. So just shows the fiery competitor that all of us really are in this league. And just love to see it.
Yeah, no, going on to the winners that we've talked about, we talked about how great season 9 was. Every season we go into basically saying, oh, this is going to be the greatest season ever in NEXXTCAR. Well, season 9 really stepped up to that plate and hit a home run. We had 10 different, we had 10 different winners, 4 multi-race winners. So 6 drivers, we didn't know who was going to win week in and week out throughout season 9. It was anybody's race to make the playoffs, and it was anyone's championship race to make the championship race and get that trophy. We had the closest run to the playoffs ever. I mean, going into the final race of the season, Peyton, there was 6 points separating 12th to 16th. It was just the absolute tightest race we have ever had in the history of NEXXTCAR. And then going all the way back to week 1 of season 9, we had 52 drivers start at least one race throughout season 9. 43 of those drivers, Tuck, made multiple starts in season 9. So absolutely everybody showed up in season 9, and they absolutely delivered.
Yeah, I mean, we had a couple guys that came back and ended up winning races. I mean, one that sticks out was Ronnie Norman.
Mm-hmm.
He had not really a stellar regular season, but he showed up in the postseason, winning a couple races. So it was good to see that. I mean, Paul Irvin came in clutch at Homestead and got himself a win and locked himself in the championship 4. Peyton had a win at Las Vegas. That was probably one of the most chaotic races that we had all season. So I mean, there was a lot of memorable moments throughout the whole season, and a lot of good moments too. We had, I know everyone talks about Adams over under as a joke, but as many times as the races went on, we barely had as many cautions as what we did in previous seasons. So, but when it got down to it, yes, we would have our incidents where we would have cautions, precautions, but overall, though, we had a lot of races where we had green flag stops too, and it was like I said, solid season.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The competition in season 9 was absolutely through the roof, Peyton. And that goes exactly into what Tuck just said. We had less cautions throughout this entire season than we had in the past 8 seasons. Whether it was short track racing, road courses, super speedways. People, I don't know what it was in season 9. Love to see it. I hope it carries over into season 10. But I think taking away those faster pairs like we did was an absolute game changer because people were racing smart, they're racing clean, and they had to think, all right, if I stick my nose under this guy, we're going into that wall. I can't afford that. Let's wait and set this guy up to make that pass. So absolutely loved the racing we saw, and it led to the competitive, the battling for the wins, the battling for the stages. It was great. We talked about Ronnie Norman. Let's talk about real quick the difference in the season, Peyton, for 2 drivers. Tuck mentioned it, Norman. The regular season, horrific. On his standards of Norman, horrific. Playoffs show up. The season 2 Ronnie Norman showed up to play, winning 2 races, getting into that championship 4. Obviously, things, unfortunately, with that last caution didn't go his way. Now, on the flip side of the coin, your regular season champion, Caleb Lamb, phenomenal regular season. Playoffs, nowhere to be found. It was an absolute tale of 2 stories for both of those drivers as that season progressed.
Yeah, I think that's what's cool about in racing. We saw Tony Stewart have a season where he just kind of went crazy there in the playoffs and won a tiebreaker in the championship. And that's the format that we had. Sure, you could think that possible. It's going to be more possible, I think, in the new system that we'll be talking about here in a bit. But yeah, I mean, like you said, Norman showed to the plate, knew it was game time. Was consistent all season, not anything crazy or anything, but then turned it on to another level. Whereas, I mean, I don't know, maybe it was bad luck, maybe the pressure got to Caleb, but we saw that Ford truck have issues. So, hey, it's a tale of 2 seasons. You got to be consistent through the regular season, and you have to be good in the playoffs. And you saw the guys who rose to the top.
I really feel bad for Caleb because he probably led the league in second place finishes all year because that was the best place he could get. That's another one. I mean, we talked about how Norman was not when was he going to win? He finally did get the win at Pocono when he stretched the fuel longer than anybody. But I mean, that's going to be the next story next year is when's Caleb going to get a win? So whenever that happens, I mean, it's not going to be if, it's going to be when it happens because I think Caleb's probably one of the best consistent guys on the track. I mean, that's why he runs up front all the time. But we'll see what happens. I mean, with the schedule that we'll probably be releasing tonight, there's going to be a lot of opportunities for guys. I think at some tracks where there'll be a couple wild cards in it too. So yeah, I think it's going to be a very good not only season 10, but for the two series that we're going to be talking about later tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we get into what the format's going to be for season 10, you mentioned it, consistency. You're going to need it in season 10. We can throw it out there right now. The winning you're in, it's gone. Winning you're into the next round, that's gone too, boys. So consistency, you're going to have to find it. You're going to have to deliver. And when you need to show up and hit that home run, you absolutely need to bat 1,000, Peyton.
Yeah, I'm extremely excited for a new system. Just like in real life, going to bringing back out the chase and bringing that out. So I mean, guys know you got to set amount of races, and the best guy's going to win. Got to keep your bad races, to like a minimum, and maximize your good days in the playoffs to win a championship. So I think it's going to be even more tight. I mean, we talked about how tight the playoffs were now. Imagine watching the battle without the playoff. Ooh, it's going to be fun. So very excited to see how that goes.
Yeah, absolutely. And real quick, I want to thank Peyton for joining us from his cave. The only lights apparently he has is his chair. And some random flashes.
NASCAR over here is like going crazy with commercials, so it's like blaring all kinds of lights. Don't mind me, but yeah, I thought I don't know. This is the dawn of the season. The sun hasn't risen on the new season yet, so we're chilling out in the darkness. Okay.
The darkness after losing another truck championship.
Okay, I knew you were about to say something about that. Okay.
Now, the goal every season, boys, is to win that NEXXTCAR championship trophy. Well, season 9, it went all the way to Noah Jackson. When season 9 got kicked off, Noah Jackson wasn't even signed up to race. Comeback season, absolutely delivered, showed up when he needed to, won multiple races in the regular season, turned it around, kept that momentum going in the playoffs, walked away 4 wins, 9 top 5s, 10 top 10s, and your season 9 Truck Series champion, Tuck.
Yeah, he had multiple wins in the regular season, had multiple wins in the playoffs. So he was up front basically all of the season. So when the races he ran, he was always up front. Can't really say anything more about that. So I mean, he was definitely the one to beat all season. But also, yet again, it just shows how competitive the season was. I mean, he ran 14 races, only had 4, and he had 4 wins. So, yeah, luck was on his side at the end of the regular season, or the end of the championship. But you know what? You'd rather be lucky than good most weeks, and that's what he ended up having at the end of the championship race.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the most underrated thing about Noah's championship is the fact that people forget was not here for the beginning of the season. He missed 3 races. When he came in, like we were looking at the points, like it's gonna be hard for him to make the playoffs, let alone. So he would came out swinging, had an amazing regular season, made the playoffs, but still was in a hole. If he'd have been your regular season, like at the beginning, he could have been your regular season champion, could have had a lot more playoff points. He threw those away not being there. So he still was somewhat in a hole entering the playoffs and just continued running a run, made the final 4, then got it done against 3 really good competitors. So very, very, very impressive from Noah. Kind of Kyle Busch-esque not being there and being in such a big hole and coming back. So it was an awesome season to watch. Even that, obviously, you want to win as a driver, but you can admire it and respect the season he had.
Yeah, no, you mentioned it. 3 other competitors or 3 other elite competitors in that championship race, and absolutely, you had Ronnie Norman, 2 wins, 11 top 5s, 13 top 10s. Peyton, yourself, 1 win, 9 top 5s, 12 top 10s. Then you had Paul Irvin, finally got that trip to victory lane, and then top 5, 6 of them, and then 7 top 10s. So all 3 of them absolutely deserving.
That's because Paul's first top 10 was probably the first race in the chase. So.
Exactly what I was about to say. It's a prime example of somebody turned it on in the playoffs. I mean, could not finish a race for the regular season. And then
Paul Newman had
playoffs. So
Paul Newman. Paul Irvin
Paul
probably had
Newman.
one of the most yeah. I don't know why I said Paul. Yeah, R.I.P. But yeah, freaking Paul Irvin probably had one of the most wackiest seasons I can remember. Like he led all these laps, and then by golly, he's finishing 18th every race. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what happened, but he finally figured it out.
You couldn't even rank it as well as even more
I know.
confusing. Like, you'd be like, Paul's in the top 5, and you finish the race, like, where Paul finish? It's like, how did he get to 13th? Nothing happened.
And he would be dominating races. That was the
Yeah,
sad part. Like, I'm pretty sure he might have led the most laps all season long. If
I'm
not,
trying
he's
to
up in the
look
top
see what
3.
His laps led were.
Like, he had to have been up there. But yeah, he just could not put together a solid race. And then I'm talking to him after a race. I'm like, Paul, is that you? Like, never heard your voice before, buddy. But
Yeah.
no.
Paul's first top 10. Paul's first top 10 was Las Vegas. Las Vegas was week 9.
Yeah.
Paul, we don't mean to
made the
laugh,
Final
buddy.
Four, and he made
In
the
a second.
Final Four. Put that in perspective.
Listen to these stats, okay? Daytona 26th, Michigan 11th, Charlotte 13th, Iowa 16th, Nashville 17th, Richmond 16th, and then the last 2 races before the playoffs started, Las Vegas 2nd, Darlington 4th. Like that's what you got to have to get. You got to get all those stage points. But yeah, that happened.
That's what I was about to say. There's pros and cons for the system for Paul. Like he's very grateful there was such thing called stage points, or he probably wouldn't even made the playoffs.
Yep.
But also, he's not going to like the chase format that we're going to be implementing if he does that again. So
hey, listen to these stats, okay? After the chase started, his worst finish was Atlanta in 17th. Everything else, he was in the top 5 or top 10. So, I mean, tale of
he
two
stepped
seasons.
up when it mattered. Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, we talk about Norman and Lamb, flip of a switch. Irvin right there in the same talk, right there in the same conversation.
Yeah, I mean, absolute unicorn season for Paul. You're never going to see anything like that again. So hats off to him. I mean, I guess it's so funny. It's impressive. So kudos to the guy.
Yeah, absolutely. But, let's not move on from this. We talked about how many different winners we have. We talked about first-time winners. We can't skip over the fact of Austin Walton finally working his way to NEXXTCAR victory lane. After all these seasons, seeing everybody else enjoy the moment, he saw his nephew enjoy the moment. But here he is finally getting his time to shine. Austin Walton finally stepping up in Season 9.
Yeah, let's not talk about how he won that, okay? Okay, we're not going to talk about that. So, but Austin, I think Austin was one of the only guys, too, that basically ran almost every race also, even though he didn't make the playoffs, too. So, shout out to him. Like, he always runs week in, week out. I mean, Grant, he's not winning a lot of races all the time, but he's still finding himself consistent enough to be top 10, top 5 most weeks. So, I mean, he had what? He had the one win. He ended up getting the one top 5 was his win, and then he had 7 top 10s too. So, I mean, he was in the top 10 half the races that he ran. So, he was just consistent enough. But I mean, just missed out on the playoffs. But this was a really competitive field, like we talked about, and you're going to have decent guys that are going to miss out. So, he missed out. Michael Lamphere missed out. Multi-time winner Robert Hassan missed out. So. A lot of guys with a lot of wins in NEXXTCAR missed the playoffs this season, so can't really fault him that. But shout out to him for showing up week in, week out, though.
Yeah, Payne, we talked about the stats earlier, the most winners, the most, drivers starting a race, the closest playoff race. There's one statistic that we have not talked about. This was the season that we had the most winners disqualified. Joe Torres got his race taken away. Matthew Tucker got his race taken away. This was the season that we also had the most DQs for winners.
I would be the season 9 champion if it wasn't for that. So it happens. But
yeah, he would. It's funny.
It's okay.
Sorry. So what a crazy statistic that is, Peyton. Yeah, absolutely. But Hey, you guys got anything else to reflect upon from last season?
Um, I'm just glad I could keep Matt Tucker out of the championship four. I'm glad
He kept
he.
himself out.
Matt Tucker killed
Uh,
himself
I
out
was
of
gonna
the
say he kept
championship.
whatever,
himself out.
whatever.
Okay.
Matt, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just I just appreciate that. I appreciate him coming out Cancun to race with us that last race. That's really cool.
Hey, it is time to move on to season 10, and it's time to talk about what we're going to be racing in season 10. You know, we opened it up to the league this year, let everybody in the league vote, and the winning vote, man, truly stoked about this. So on Sunday nights, we're going to be racing the Gen 4s. And then on Monday nights, the Xfinity series is making its return. So we're having a debut series, but we're also bringing another one back from the past. So I'm absolutely excited about it. I love the Gen 4. I love the nostalgia. Cannot wait to see them on the broadcast. And then the Xfinity series, Peyton, it's back as well.
Yeah, really exciting. I mean, we're bringing out the car that's what they were running when I was a kid. So really cool. I don't have really much experience in those, but I think the most exciting thing about that car is the fact that, I mean, you can look at the history of NEXXTCAR, you can look at the wins list, the championships, everything. Well, you can throw all that out the window. We have a brand new car that none of us ever ran a season in, at least in NEXXTCARs. So it's going to be a fresh look for us. Probably a little bit of learning curve, but I'm really excited to see who can really excel in that car.
Yeah, absolutely, Tuck. You know, it's a new car. Horsepower, baby, it's back. 900 horsepowers under those cats. So it's going to be a fun season. You know, everything, like Peyton just said, everything you think you know about racing, throw it out the window because those Gen 4 cars are an absolute beast.
Yeah, you're really gonna find out who's gonna be good and who's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
not. So I think it's gonna be really challenging. Like tracks that are gonna be like intermediates, your short tracks, your like shorter than a mile tracks are gonna be um, really challenging for some guys that might have been good at those in like let's say trucks or Xfinity. So um, never really know what's going to happen until we get out there. So, but whoever does end up winning the championship at the end of the season will have earned it. So, really excited to get Gen 4s up and going on Sunday nights.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, got the tale of two stories here as well. You got the Xfinity cars, and you got the Gen 4. So I'm looking forward to seeing them both in action Sunday and Monday night. And, you know, Gen 4, a lot of drivers wanted to see it debut in season 10. I can't believe we're there, but it's finally coming here. The Gen 4 is to NEXXTCAR. So absolutely thrilled about it, and you're going to see it up on the screen here. But thank you to Nick Trudeau for his beautiful scheme, as always, for our Gen 4 promotion car for NEXXTCAR. So definitely a huge shout out to Nick. But yeah, Gen 4 Tuck, it's back. Xfinity, it's back. Or I'm sorry, Gen 4 making its debut. Xfinity, it's back. So, man, season 10, it's ramping up to be a good one. And we haven't even talked about the schedule or anything. So, Gen 4, it is going to provide a challenge. We talked about it, whether it's on the short tracks, the super speedways. Like Peyton said, you can't push with those things. So, that there is going to be a whole challenge in its own. The next gen, you could absolutely lay on that guy's bumper in front of you and just keep going down the straightaway. But in these babies, you can't. You've got to be careful. You can only push in maybe down the backstretch, if that. In the corners, it's a no-go. Through the tri-oval, it is most definitely a no-go.
Yeah, like when we get to super speedway, starting off the season, it's you're gonna have guys that are gonna try to do that like they would the truck series on Sunday nights, and they're gonna find out really quick that you cannot push. I mean, I think back to when me and Cat were driving these things starting off. We tried to push, and he lifted my rear bumpers off the ground. So I mean, yeah, we're gonna be with even with no fast repairs too. I think that's going to be also a huge thing too. You're going to have guys that are going to be really, hopefully, consistent enough where they're racing hard, but not not wrecking their stuff and getting out each week. So with this new point system, you can't do that. You're going to have to keep the car cleaned and get as much points as you can. So yeah, we'll just see how it goes, and then like Xfinity coming back too. I think Xfinity is one of the most underrated cars. I think it also it's kind of runs like the Gen 4, where it's kind of hard to drive. It is very loose off. So yeah, I think Xfinity is also going to be a good season as well. But really excited for the Gen 4 though.
Yeah, the thing that kind of excites me the most is, throughout the history of NEXXTCAR, we have had our fair share of fantastic finishes, memorable finishes. Well, in the Gen 4, it's going to provide that. It is great with side-by-side racing. You can lean on each other. Not with the bumpers, but with the doors. You can lean on each other. You're going to keep going straight. The whole 8 tires turn better than 4. You're going to see that, I think, a lot this season. But the thing I think I might be most excited about is the bump and runs. We're going to see it with these cars because with the next gen, you could bump that guy in front of you, and those things were planted to the ground. So in these cars, it is completely different. Like we said, you bump them, you're lifting the rear axle up off the corner. You're not going to wreck the guy, hopefully. You don't want to, Tuck. You might not. So you can easily pull off a good old bump and run, especially at a track like Bristol, Iowa, Richmond. So that is what I'm most excited about, is where a driver's going to find that fine line and where does the aggressiveness come into play, Peyton?
Yeah, it's like a guy like Tux's dream. I mean, he's got the perfect excuse to accidentally wreck people. Like, oh, I don't have a lot of experience in this car. I think that'd wreck you. I'm sorry, bro. So I look forward to seeing the 25 wreck out a ton of guys at the beginning of the season, doing all these bump and runs. But um, I would say jokes aside, but probably not joking on that part. But anyway, um, we'll see how it goes. I do think you will see some guys be really aggressive in this car, like with being bumping. I think a lot of guys will also be on that save mode, trying to save tires. That's gonna be a whole new thing to learn with this car as well. So it's
You know,
gonna be very interesting.
the only thing that's going to be missing more than me like wrecking people is Peyton's hairdo. Like, there's no hair on the top of that guy's bangs. So
It just comes out of the darkness.
Yeah, like,
no, there he goes. There he
Hello,
fixed it.
darkness, my old friend.
So, but no, yeah, like we said, like I feel like the Gen 4, you're gonna have guys that might be in a situation to do like a bump and run, and you can't like hit them as hard as you can and like you could in the cup car because they're gonna spin out. So I mean, you're gonna have to plan your moves very precisely, and that's gonna make, I think, a lot better racing also.
I think my most exciting thing is guys like you who love throwing blocks when I don't lift and you wreck yourself because you're gonna wreck yourself in that car. It's gonna be very satisfying. So I'm looking forward to that.
I'm here for it. I've said it multiple times. I'm gonna be like a little kid when we take the green flag at Daytona because, like Peyton alluded to, these are the cars that we grew up, seeing racing on TV. These are the cars that we dreamed of as a little kid driving, and here we are. The time has arrived.
Yeah, I mean, season starts literally in a week, so we'll see it next Sunday, and yeah, looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Peyton, you got anything else to add about the 2 series here for NEXXTCAR?
Tuck's gonna wreck out in the 500.
I mean, you said it, not me, but like I said, it's just really exciting. I think it's gonna be a breath of fresh air for everybody. Like I said, I mean, it's a brand new series and a series we've only ran a couple times, so very exciting. Very exciting to see the new faces that we get come in, and very excited to see how the crew we already got will adapt to it. I know it's gonna be a great show for the broadcast, and I'm sure Ronnie's probably grateful they didn't have to learn the car like we do. But hey, so can't wait to see what our first double-digit season how it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm hoping to try to be out there Monday night. Still looking to try to get a broadcast set up for that. But if we can't, then I'll be up in the booth for Monday night. So that'll be different, doing a broadcast for both nights. But Tuck, anything else before we move on here?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Before we release the schedule, we've alluded to it a couple times throughout this podcast, folks. Well, NASCAR made the announcement about a month ago. Well, the chase is back, baby, and it is back in NEXXTCAR as well. So regular season, you still got the 7 chase races, so it's still split up, but Peyton, the chase is back.
Yeah, absolutely love it, love it, love it. It's a format that's going to really reward consistency both on the regular season and the playoffs. So really look forward to it. You can't have like bad races. Like you've got to stay consistent. It's going to reward guys who can take care of their stuff. So I think it's a great opportunity for the league. I'm just me personally, I'm really excited for it. I think it fits me really well. Maybe not a guy like Tuck over here with his driving style, but hey, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, like feel like this is one of the best ways to crown a champion. So just not on the NEXXTCAR side, but on the actual NASCAR side as well.
Hmm.
So it's the best compromise that we could do for a full season points. Um, but I feel like the seven races that I'm talking about for the NEXXTCAR side, the seven tracks that are on the playoff circuit um, are going to be very skill wise. Like you're going to have to be good at these certain tracks, but also it's very difficult also. So the style of racing is going to be very different, but I feel like it's going to be the best way to crown your champion. So whoever's the most consistent at all these tracks is definitely going to earn it after the season's over.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I mean, you can't fluke into it. Like that's the big thing. Like you can't uh, have something unlucky happen in the final race. I mean, you're not going to get Denny Hamlin like in our league anymore. So I think it just opens up a world of possibilities for guys.
Yeah, and we talked about this is our first double-digit season. We're in season 10, and this also marks a new era for NextCar as well. This will now be the third championship format that we have used in NextCar. When we first came to iRacing, we did 10 straight races. Erickson got your championship. Tucker got his championship. Well, then we moved on to the playoffs. Your 3 rounds, 3-3-1. Well, now we're on to your regular season and then the chase. So not only is this new era for NASCAR bringing it back, it's now a brand new era for NEXXTCAR.
Yeah, that's a really good way of putting it. I mean, if you think about it, the way we started off in the first season, couple seasons on NextCar side, it was the Winston Cup points. Then we went into the playoff era, and now we're in the chase era. So I mean, we kind of skipped an era, but
But we found
glad
it.
we're founding it. Yeah. I think it's gonna be. I think we're gonna be in this playoff format for a while. So, but like I said, I think it's gonna be the best way to crown your champion. You're not Peyton's not gonna be upset that he won't uh, get not win the last race of the year and get kicked out. I mean, he was really hoping for something like this so he can get a real championship, unlike the other ones that he's had. So, congrats to
Okay.
Peyton. So,
Okay.
but yeah, we'll see how it goes though.
Yeah, whoever's bored and has like a bunch of time on their hands, they should go back and try to do the math on who would win the championship if we had this format in previous years. I'd be very interested because something tells me this guy over here would not have any, so I don't want to hear it.
Oh, you pointed to thin air, but
Yeah, you did.
Uh,
You did. We're over here, Val.
yeah.
wherever
I
Tuck
mean,
is. Like, he's over here on my
you
screen.
can't see a damn thing in your room anyway,
Yeah,
so you probably
right.
didn't know where we are. So.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But
Whatever.
no, that's a great point. Is it doesn't come down to one last caution taking us into overtime in a championship race. It doesn't come down to this guy pushing this guy to the championship. You have to you have to show up. You have to perform week in and week out. Those 17 weeks, you have got to show up and perform. So I love that. You're kind of taking it out of control of the other guy's hands, and your entire destiny is in your own hands. And I love it, Peyton.
Yeah, agreed. I'm, I like I said, I can't support the chase enough. I mean, you have to earn it. I mean, every race matters. It's not I think that was kind of the problem before as well. Like I feel like our system we had before, like I think even us as drivers, we get near the end of the regular season, it's like, really doesn't matter exactly what happens. We're kind of just trophy hunting. We're already in. And the playoffs, it's like you have a good start of the playoffs. Like okay, I've advanced already. Who cares? No,
Hmm.
none of that. There's no free races. There's no riding around. Every race matters from the start of the season when we started Daytona or whatever Super Speedway. Let me not spoil anything. Um, to the end of the season, every race matters, every lap matters, every point matters. So I think it's gonna be awesome.
And on the flip side too, I mean, the first 10 weeks of this regular season, like you're going to have to earn your way into the playoffs too. Like we talked about last year, how guys had to earn their way in. Like you're going to be tested too. I mean, we're going to have our super speedways, you have your short tracks, you have your intermediates. I mean, there's going to be a good mix of everything. So, and a couple tracks that were not on the schedule last year are on the schedule this year too. So, um, yeah, just really, it's going to be a really solid season. I mean, we kind of, I mean, I'm not going to say we kept the same schedule, but we have a lot of the same tracks that provide the best racing.
Absolutely. Tuck, you got anything else to add about the 2 series and the chase coming back before we move on to your season 10 schedule?
I don't think so.
All right, let's reveal it. Let's reveal your season 10 schedule for both the Gen 4 and Xfinity. Let's break it up into a couple parts here. Weeks 1 through 5, Tuck, you've got Daytona, Pocono, Iowa, Indianapolis, Las Vegas. A great mixture of tracks. Obviously, you got the super speedway kicking it off at Daytona. You've got Pocono, fantastic track for us through the first 9 seasons. Iowa, it's been a little while since we've raced there, if I'm not mistaken. Indianapolis, like I said, a couple of those seasons. You got Indianapolis. Then you got Vegas. You know, you got your 1.5 miles. You've got your super speedway. You've got your 2-mile Pocono. You got another 1.5 miles in there, then Indianapolis. So great mixture of tracks there for the first half of the regular season.
I think the biggest thing, I know Vegas has been really like hit or miss, like with the last couple of seasons, but I feel like with the way the Gen 4 car is, and you're not as pack racing, I feel like Vegas is a good first 1.5 mile race to like get it started. So once we all get spread out, I feel like there's gonna be multiple lanes. You can run the top, you can run the bottom. I feel like that's gonna be a really interesting race for the first 1.5 miles. Iowa, with the way that the new pavement is, it's gonna be really difficult. I feel like you might have some guys try to struggle at Iowa that might have succeeded there in the before, but that's also with the way the new Gen 4 car is too, and the Xfinity car as well. You're going to be on edge most of the time, and I feel like that track's going to suit well to multiple guys. And then Pocono and Indianapolis, both of those 2 tracks kind of play the same too. So Pocono with being the 2.5 and Indy the 2.5 also. Got to be really excited to go there. And then Daytona is always Daytona. Whoever comes out victorious there is going to kick off their season on a hot start, and we'll just get it going.
Peyton, how do you feel about the first 5 weeks, specifically the fact that we've got 2 crown jewels in the first 4 weeks?
Yeah, I think it's really exciting. Like, my favorite part about this first 5 races, and I mean, technically it's the first 4. I mean, 3 of your first 4 races are tracks that are really big. Like, it gives you a lot of room for us to kind of get the season started, get used to these cars. Drivers are gonna have tons of space to get kind of familiar with them and comfortable with them. So I really like this group to start. I think you've got a really good list. You got a lot of like diversity there. And like you just said, I mean, you got a couple of crown jewels there as well. So uh, very exciting. That's one thing that I kind of hope we kind of start putting more emphasis on those crown jewels. Always really cool to win one of those. So I think we got a good little group here to start the season.
Then the second half of the regular season gets kicked off at Phoenix in week 6. Then we go back to Charlotte Motor Speedway for another crown jewel. Then we go to the biggest mistake in NASCAR history, Auto Club Speedway in week 8. That is the championship race. And then week 9, we're going back to maybe what was the most surprising track that we've had NEXXTCAR in a while, Texas. And then it all comes to a close in week 10 at Darlington for the regular season. Tuck, how do you feel about week 6 through 10? And then let's talk about that championship race in week 8 at Auto Club.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't had Phoenix on the schedule for the last couple of seasons, and we got it back on this season. So that's kind of one of the tracks it's one season in, one season out. So I feel like the Gen 4 cars are going to race pretty good there, as well as the Xfinity too. Charlotte's always been a good mile and a half. That's always been kind of in the regular season too, with us having the crown jewel races. So that's gonna be could be played fairly well. I'll skip over week 8, talk about that after.
Mhm.
Texas was a really good race last year. If I remember correctly, it was at the beginning of the season, and I don't think we had like 2 cautions, like for like a 25 race field on the truck series. On the cup side, it was also that way too. So with the way the new track is, you get kind of slowed down in the slowed down in the first part, 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4 is always tricky too. So that's really been kind of the sleeper track has been Texas, the way the racing's been, because it's been a really tire wear track, and with it being that late in the regular season now, might have guys that are going to be on the cutoff that are going to be looking for points, and that's going to be one of the tracks that got circled. And then Darlington, I feel like that's kind of the way the staple for NASCAR's been. Like it's always right around the last part. It was the regular season cutoff championship a couple of years ago, and yeah, I think Darlington's a really good cutoff race. But yeah, Noah Jackson though was our champion, and he ended up picking Auto Club. So we haven't been Auto Club in a few seasons also. So that's gonna be a really big race for some people. I mean, Auto Club's off the NASCAR circuit. I mean, I still don't know if they're making it into a short track or not. But
I don't even know if NASCAR
yeah.
knows.
No, they don't.
More not the schedule. I think it's like off the world. I mean,
Yeah.
it's got deleted, bro. Like,
Yeah. Well, they still got like the front stretch, like
Mhm.
grandstands too. So I don't know what they're doing, but yeah, I feel like that's gonna be a really interesting race also, and that's gonna provide a lot of great racing with the Gen 4s also. So yeah, the regular season, you got a mix of short tracks, you got a mix of 2.5 miles, 1.5 mile on the super speedway, and a technical track in Darlington too. So it's gonna be really interesting regular season.
yeah, I mean, like Tuck said, I mean, you got a couple of tracks on there that either we haven't ran all at or haven't ran in a while in Phoenix and Texas. Of course, you got a ground jewel close us out, Darlington, so tension will be high for that one, of course, for the cutoff race. Charlotte's always a great show, also another ground jewel track. And like we said, I mean, we're gonna hype up Auto Club a good bit because it's been a while, and honestly something that I think in the sim world will be start being considered kind of a crown jewel itself. I think everybody wants to win at Auto Club with it being gone. Really awesome track. So you have a lot of big tracks there guys really want to win at. Of course they want to win every race, but a lot of pressure to perform in the regular season. You got a great list of tracks that really are very different. Like yes, we don't have a super small track, so short track guys might be a little upset, but you have a lot of different driving styles for a lot of different tracks here, so your skills are going to be tested from start to finish in the regular season.
Yeah, absolutely. And then let's move into the playoffs, weeks 11 through 16. Going up north to Michigan, back down to the Super Speedway in Talladega. We're going to Nashville Super Speedway. Watkins Glen for your very first road course of the season. Then last season's championship race at Kansas finds itself in week 15 here for season 10. And then week 16 at Richmond to round it all out, Peyton. Not talking about the championship race yet.
Yeah, I got you. By the way, there's your short track, so I'm obviously skipping ahead a little bit, but you're kind of cut off right before. It's not a cut off race per se, but it's last race before that championship race, the short track. So Sparks will be flying at that one. Kind of going backwards, like you said, Kansas had a lot of success there and great league races. Watkins Glen being back, feels like everybody's favorite road course, so that makes sense. It's back. Nashville, really excited. It's kind of a home track for me, so. Nashville we not really ran a whole lot, and I'm very interested to see how the Gen 4 will run there. But hey, we'll see. Dega, of course, we all know how great Dega is in these cars, especially Xfinity. And then Michigan, big wide open track. Yet again, you have a lot of diversity there. You got a road course, short track, mile and a half, super speedways. I mean, these guys are going to get tested. I mean, this schedule is very unique, so you're gonna have to earn it in those tracks, and you're gonna stay out of trouble.
The thing that kind of sticks out to me here, Tuck, is weeks 11 and 12. You got Michigan and Talladega. Obviously, Talladega is super speedway. We know how that works. Michigan is another draft-heavy track. So back-to-back, essentially, drafting tracks here that kicking off the playoffs, you cannot win the championship in weeks 11 and 12, but you sure can dig yourself one heck of a hole. And then it all goes down for 140 laps at Homestead Miami Speedway. Homestead finding itself back as the NEXXTCAR championship race for season 10. So, hey, Homestead, it always is a great race. We've talked about how Kansas, Las Vegas, they're multi-grooved. Well, Homestead is just as good.
Yeah, I mean, not only are we going back to Homestead for our championship race, so is NASCAR too. So it's going to be really exciting over there. I mean, it's going to be slipping and sliding on both not only the Xfinity side, but on the Gen 4 too. So, yeah, the real champion's going to be earned there for the championship race.
Hey, and how do you feel about the championship race down at Homestead, Miami?
Yeah, I think it's really fitting. I mean, we're bringing out the Gen 4s, and what more classical of a way to end the season than at Homestead. So, very exciting. I think that track's be very fun for both of the cars we have this season. Love Homestead. It's a great facility, so it's a great place to end the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's just get this out of the way now because it's going to irritate people as the season goes on. The holidays that NEXXTCAR will not be racing on is Easter, Mother's Day, Memorial Day, and Father's Day. Obviously, a very scrutinized time in NEXXTCAR with the holidays, but just getting it out of the way now, we will not be racing those 4 weekends.
But, yeah, I mean, we have a lot of people that always ask if we're racing, so might as well just throw those out. But yeah, I mean, Sundays and Mondays are a lot of holidays, so during the summer part of the season. So yeah, I mean, those are good off weeks that we can take off.
Absolutely. Any final comments on what is certainly looking like a great schedule ahead?
I don't think so.
All right, and just throwing us out there, obviously, before we've had 2 different races in Week 8, but with the shutdown on Monday nights, with Noah Jackson being the only champion, we have converted both Auto Club for both series here in Season 10. So, essentially the same exact schedule, just obviously a difference in total laps. So, same schedule from Week 1 all the way down to Week 17 for both series. So, just throwing that out there to eliminate any confusion on that side. But, boys, next topic. You know, we talked about how the last couple of seasons we've had a lot of returning guys. You know, Noah Jackson last season, Ronnie Norman the season prior. Well, Season 10 is shaping up to be the exact same, where we're seeing some heavy hitters showing back up in NEXXTCAR. You've got Hunter Manley, he's coming back. Camden Jester, he's coming back. Cade Sayer, another driver. Daniel Smith, he's showing back up. So a lot of heavy hitters, and Andrew Bolander is adding his name to the list as well. So, hey, we talked about how competitive Season 9 was. Well, all those guys that I just named off, they were either part-time or didn't race at all. Well, they're back in NEXXTCAR as well.
Yeah, really exciting. I just heard quite a few champions that you just named out. So, these guys have a lot of speed, and really excited to get those guys back. It's a really great group of guys. So, glad they're back and can't wait to beat and bang with them a little bit more.
Yeah, I think you have multi-champions coming back. You said, like, I know Daniel Smith, he's tried to, he wants to race, but he's got things going on. I know Colin Bollinger, he's really excited for the Gen 4 series, so that kind of he's gonna be really one to beat coming into Sunday nights. And Cat is really gonna like Noah Jackson picking Auto Club, because I feel like he's undefeated at that track. So if he only races one race next year, it's gonna be that race, and he's gonna win that race. You're locking that in right now. So excited we have a good group of guys that are signed up for next season. I mean, it's gonna be a quality group over the quantity. So I think it's gonna be a pretty good field that we'll have for both series.
But before we move on, we got some info to talk about. Obviously, Season 9, we made the big decision to take away the fast repairs. So anyone curious, we are going to be doing that again. super speedways, you're going to have your one fast repair. All the other tracks, you're going to have zero. We saw the effect of that, Peyton, throughout Season 9. The racing was absolutely much cleaner. The respect was out there on the tracks. The caution showed it. So I'm excited. That was probably one of the best decisions we could have made in Season 9 was to get rid of those fast repairs on the anything other than super speedways. And like I said, the league delivered and showed the true effects of it.
Yeah, I was a supporter from the beginning. Just keep that in mind. So gotta pat myself on the back a little bit on that one because I do think it's a great call. I think it calmed a lot of guys down, made them second guess some of those moves that were happening, and I mean we had a lot less yellows. I mean, yeah, we talked about it earlier in the podcast, talking about Adams over under, but we had a lot of unders. Some people don't talk about that last season. So um, definitely glad that we made that call and we're keeping that going. So hopefully that clean racing will continue.
Well, I mean, that's why Peyton wrecked out a lot is because he didn't have his one to use. So,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So,
Okay.
no, but I think that's how you get good in racing is kind of just like not having that to fall back on that you're like, hey, like I might push a little bit and have this if I end up wrecking, and yeah, you can't do that now. So, I think had a lot of guys that stayed true to that, and we had really good racing because of it too. So, but yeah, we got it. I feel like keeping it at the super speedways is kind of a must too, because if you get caught up in one person's stuff, then you're done. So it's kind of just a kind of little bonus thing because the super speedways are always good racing too. So yeah, but looking forward to keeping that rule in place, and it should provide the same racing we had last year.
Yeah, absolutely. The super speedways, like you said, we have to keep it because this is sim racing. It takes a lot to do this. You got to have fantastic internet. You've got to have great PC that is constantly running and pulling everything it's got. Unfortunately, not everything lines up all the times. You get those blinkers or the people that lag, whatever you want to call it, and you don't want something like that to ruin somebody's race, especially in a car that we don't know who knows what about it. You can't push in these Gen 4s. It's a learning curve. Unfortunately, I get NASCAR, they don't get that, but they get speed weeks. They get all these opportunities to practice that we don't necessarily do on the sim side of things. Exactly. They get paid to do this. We do this out of fun.
We don't get paid to do this shit.
So you got to have the fast repairs at super speedways because, like you said, you don't want someone to get caught up in other things. You don't want lag to be the reason that someone's race ends. So the fast repairs have got to stay at super speedways. So those aren't going anywhere for that. Don't worry. But on the other tracks, just like last season, yeah, they're gone. Another big change that's happening this season, well, actually, we got two big changes to talk about. The first one here, if you guys have not paid attention into the Discord, we will be creating a second league on iRacing itself. So the original league will be transformed over to the Cup side, and then we'll be creating a new one for Xfinity. That way it keeps everything more organized. Everyone can choose a different number if they wanted per series. You ain't got to worry about, let me log in and change this guy's number for tonight, then tomorrow night change it to another number. So you ain't got to worry about that. Everyone's going to be able to run different numbers. Ain't got to worry about, that guy in Cup's got 30. I can't pick it because of that. So it's going to keep all that organized. So definitely excited about that, and should eliminate a lot of the issues that we had with, someone didn't log in with the right number. We can set that and forget about it for the next 17 weeks. So definitely a huge upgrade there. But, well, boys, I think it's time to talk about probably the biggest upgrade or biggest change. And, well, NASCAR's bringing a bunch of things back. We're bringing a Gen 4 back out of the past, and we're digging into the history of NEXXTCAR. And teams are back, baby, as well. So we've done a lot of talking about it. We've talked about in the admin chat, the owners chat, and we have decided that moving forward here for Season 10, we are bringing teams back. So, with that being said, we are going to make it a max of 4 drivers per team to score points for that team. And at the end of the season, the team with the most points, the championship team, will also, all drivers on that team will be getting a championship trophy to acknowledge that as well. So not only will the 2 series champions get a trophy, that team will get a trophy. Each individual on that team will get a trophy as well. So, Peyton, I know you're a big supporter of the team. I was always a big supporter of the team. We had one heck of a team at ADR, so I was always biased on that. You know, I love the team concept. That's what makes NASCAR. You know, you've got the teams, you got the drivers to give info out. So definitely glad to see the teams back. So definitely great to see it back, Peyton.
Yeah, I'm extremely excited about it. I think when we look back at teams, like we learned a lot during that era of NexXTCAR. There was a lot of the good the teams did, and there was a couple bad things that people commented on. And I think we've kind of adjusted around that. Like this year, we're not going to we're not going to do the draft. I know a lot of guys like the draft, but guys going to form their own teams with their guys and stuff. So we're letting guys form their own teams, form their own names, do what they want to do, and that's something guys have kind of been doing already behind the scenes. So we're going to start really just acknowledging those teams and rewarding them. So very exciting. Teams are back. Let's guys that work together, but also gives an opportunity for guys new to the league to join a team, get to know guys, really connect with them. So very excited for teams being back. Adds a whole nother level of life to the league.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, like you guys talked about, it's going to be the big drive with this was the incentive. Like you said, you didn't make the playoffs, well, you got something else to race for. You might not get that drivers championship trophy, but you could get that the team championship trophy. So definitely something more driven to succeed at, something more incentive driven, and hopefully it keeps the guys here for all 17 weeks. So definitely something to look forward to, Peyton. Teams always seem to bring the good side to the league. But boys, I think that might be it for NEXXTCAR. I think it might be time to transform on what's happening this weekend and what's currently happening, boys. NASCAR is back officially. It's Daytona 500 weekend, baby. And it all gets kicked off tonight with the Truck Series, then ARCA and Xfinity tomorrow, and then the Daytona 500 at 12:30 on Sunday.
Yeah, well, the bald eagle in the truck race lost its wing. So
okay, you can stop hating on Cletus so much, but just want to let the audience know you got to give us a little bit of a break. You're looking at three guys who their team's football seasons ended about 6 months ago. So we've been looking for NASCAR.
Yeah, right.
Since Phoenix ended, we've been waiting on NASCAR to come back. So very exciting. I mean, that's why you see me glancing over a little bit. Truck race is on right now, so gotta love NASCAR back, baby. It's always exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. But all right, how we doing our picks this year? How are we kicking it off tonight? Because we're bringing that series back.
I don't know. How about we do a random number generator to see who picks first? Okay.
All right. While he pulls it up, we're going to do something completely different this year. And the season's passed, and moving on, we're going to try to have a guest podcaster as well every week for the podcast. It might be, that race winner. It might be somebody else if we get, multiple race winners week in and week out. So we're going to keep track of points this year. As you guys know, we pull our winners, we pull our sleeper picks. So winners, if your locked pick wins, you will earn 5 points. If your sleeper pick wins, you will earn 10 points. But on the flip side of that coin, if your sleeper pick does not win the race, but finishes inside the top 10, so second through 10, you will earn points per where he finishes inside the top 10, just like they do for stage points. If he finishes 10th, you earn 1 point. 9th, 2 points. 3rd, 8th will get you 3 points, and so on. So that's a tongue twister and a half.
And we're saying the sleeper pick has to be what, like outside the top 15, or how are we defining a sleeper pick?
For Daytona, I would say your sleeper pick, I don't know, man, because it's different. It varies on each track.
My sleeper pick for the 500 is Denny Hamlin.
Essentially, Kyle Busch is the sleeper pick for the 500. This is
is he
20th
though?
time of
I feel
trying
like
with no wins.
the easiest
You know?
the easiest way to rule a sleeper, I think, is just if you say a sleeper and the other two agree that is a sleeper.
Okay.
If both the other guys
That's
look at it, it's
fine.
like, bro, that's not a sleeper. Like, pick somebody else.
I'm good with it.
That is fine. I agree.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Sleeper for the Daytona 500. Um, let's see. How about? Oh, I got my dude. Yeah, I got my dude. I'm very confident actually this one. A matter of fact, I'm a little worried that some people won't consider him like if you a true NASCAR fan, you know this really isn't a sleeper, but car wise, it definitely is. I'm gonna go with Eric Jones as a sleeper this week.
You stole my guy.
Legacy was coming on really, really strong at the end of the season last year. Like they were starting to be competitive, and I think this is one of those seasons that's kind of like make or break for them. Like, are they finally going to kind of bust on the scene? And I can totally see it with Eric Jones. This is a track he's won at in the past. He's a really good plate driver. When he was at Joe Gibbs, he constantly ran really well at the plates. And even in Legacy, he's ran well. So could this be the week the Legacy finally gets a win? We'll see. But Eric Jones, I'm going to roll with his my sleeper.
All right. So for my sleeper pick, you stole mine. Because I was going to go either him or John Hunter Nemechek because they looked really good in the duels. So I know the last time we did the podcast religiously every week, my sleeper pick on super speedways was always Michael McDowell. Well, I think I'm going to change that up this week. You know, I think he does have that 500 win, so I don't think he necessarily would qualify as a sleeper anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go with the guy that is jumping into his old ride last year. You know, Todd Gilliland. I think he could find his way somehow, some way to get Front Row Motorsports back to victory lane at the Daytona 500. So I think we'll.
All right, let's kick it off for my sleeper pick. I am going with a guy who ran up front at both the Daytona races at the end of the races last year. He had a chance to win the 500, and he had a chance to win the 400 at the July or the summer race. I think he ran pretty good last night in his duel before I think he got caught up in that late race wreck. I'm going with Cole Custer to be my sleeper pick. I feel like he's going to be up front most of the time, and he's got more Chevys to work with. So he's always one that's always up front at the end of these super speedway races at Daytona. So I'm picking Cole Custer for my sleeper. And then for
Really
my
like
lock,
that. Like that's the guy. Go ahead.
okay. And for my lock to kick it off, this guy has had really good speed weeks. He's been fast. He's been up front. He's looked like Willy Wonka walking around the garage with his cane. The guy that I have for my lock is going to be the one that has won everything at Daytona except for the 500. He's coming off a really down year, but he kicked it off this season, breaking his leg, looking like Willy Wonka walking around the uh, garage right now. So I am going with Brad Keselowski to win the Daytona 500.
All right, so for my lock pick, I'm gonna go with the guy that this guy he's won himself several super speedway races at Daytona last year, Talladega in seasons prior, so he knows how to get it done at these style tracks. But I think Ryan Blaney could finally get that win column in the 500. I hope.
Yeah, big surprise there, you jackass.
Hey, you ought to be surprised since I picked Gilliland.
Oh, but yeah, but I do think Blaney. If this is gonna be the year, I feel like Blaney. He worked really well with Logano, and I feel like those two are gonna be the ones that beat on Sunday. So I really like that. I think a Ford is gonna win the 500.
All right, Peyton, who you got for your lock?
Well, I mean, I'm sitting here like scrolling through the list, and I'm assuming that one of the two guys that I was thinking, like for sure, one of you would say, I would just get the one that you didn't. They're both still here, which is wild. I really wanted to take somebody like I think Bubba Wallace has a really good chance to win this year, to be honest with you. Looked really strong in the duels. Carson Hocevar actually showed patience, and if he can show that in the race, I think he has a great shot. Um, but I just don't know how neither of you took either of these guys, and I'm still trying to figure out how I want to pick between them. Danny Hamlin has a ton of super speedway like skill, like a lot of wins at Daytona. Almost won 3 Daytona 500s in a row. We all know the heartbreak he had over the off season, both on and off the track, in the N25. So you know the guy's racing a heavy heart, and he's going to be going all out. I almost took him. I really did. I hate picking with the NASCAR heart. I'm not saying my heart, but the NASCAR fandom heart. But I'm going to this time. It just feels like there's something in the air right now with Rowdy. Give me Kyle Busch to finally win a 500. I mean, Carl lightning fast in qualifying, looked really good in the duel. I think not only does NASCAR, like the fans, want to see Kyle Busch win this race, kind of Dale Earnhardt esque for Kyle Busch. Would love to see him win this thing. So I think he's going to have a lot of friends in this. I think he's weirdly in a good kind of sitting with a lot of drivers, unlike old Kyle Busch would have been. So I think he's going to have more help than he's ever had in a 500 this year, and I think he gets it done. Let's go, Kyle Busch.
Yeah, you couldn't have went wrong with either of those two picks between Bush and Hamlin. You know, I thought about picking
Yeah,
Hamlin, but it's just like the turmoil that he has faced this offseason, dating all the way
it's
back to
gonna be hard.
Phoenix,
I really do.
dating into everything that happened with his parents, his father passing away.
Yep.
How is he going to put that emotion behind him? You know, we heard it in the the interviews he's done. He's talked about I'm not ready to be racing yet, but he has that
Yeah.
obligation to Joe Gibbs, to JGR as a whole, to go out there and race. How is he going to put that emotion behind him? That's why I didn't pick him. On the flip side of the coin, Bush, you mentioned it. It definitely has that feeling of Earnhardt. 20 years of trying, 20 years of frustration. Obviously, this is the 25th anniversary of Earnhardt. I'm not saying that there's any rigging or anything like that, but it's like shaping up the
Yeah.
way you would expect
Yeah.
that to, you know?
Yeah.
So you couldn't have
And
gone
they
wrong with
include
either
like in
pick.
Kyle. Yeah, and they include in Kyle's like this is technically his 21st, but
Mm-hmm.
really it is his 20th because they're including the one where he didn't even start because he broke
Yeah,
his leg. So
right.
it's really his 20th start in the 500. So
It's his
he just
20th
has too
start,
many dots.
21st year.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm I think it'd be cool. I've never been a
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Busch fan, but I think it'd be really good for the sport. So
I
I'd love to
never
see it, and I think there's a really good chance that there is.
I never was till his last year at JGR. And then I think reality hit him. You know, I think his kids finally caught up to him and the reality of, holy shit, no one wants me with my attitude. I need to change, you know?
Not to
So,
mention, like this is such a big year for him because I mean he's a free agent this year. Like he's gonna show, not to disrespect him, but he's almost got to prove to not us as fans, but the teams that he's not washed.
mm-hmm.
If he could have a great season, like that opens the door for him. Like, does a Hendrick Motorsports still believe in Alex Bowman, or would Rick Hendrick let to throw Kyle Busch in one of his cars for in his career? Like, there's teams out there they talk about it all off season. There's a lot of open seats next year and a lot of like long term contracts signed. Kyle Busch is a big one. So if he could start the year off, win the 500, it could go a long way for the rest of his career and setting it up.
Yeah, absolutely. Tuck, how do you feel about the Bush as the final locked in pick for Peyton?
I think that's a good sentimental pick. I feel like if this is gonna be he's gonna do it. Um, with everything that's been going on, like the Earnhardt documentary that came out last night, you had everybody talking about 20 years of Kyle Busch. So, I think that's a solid pick, and kind of hope he's right too because I wouldn't mind seeing that also. But there's a lot of good storylines for the 500. So if a couple of these guys end up winning it, it would be pretty cool. So you got Byron going for 3 in a row. No one's ever won 3 in a row. You got Jimmy Johnson. He's 50 years old, trying to win another 500 in another NASCAR race. So you don't know how many more he's going to do. Kyle Larson looking for his very first super speedway win. No one picked him. So a lot of stories that are going on. So
Absolutely. But boys, we've been at it for quite some time tonight trying to get this podcast filmed. Discord has been not cooperating. Streamlabs has not been cooperating. So, but
Hey, but the pod is back.
it is.
The pod is back.
Just like NASCAR.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Unlike Tony Stewart and Cleus McFarland, but the pod is back.
Yep. But hey, anything else to add to this podcast before we bring it to a close here tonight?
Yeah, totally random. I've been looking up NASCAR drivers and their ages because you had me thinking like how old Kyle Busch was. Did you guys know Joey Logano and Daniel Suarez are the same age?
That doesn't feel right.
Yeah, right.
That doesn't feel right at all. It doesn't.
and
Could've
Austin
said that.
Dillon.
I mean, I guess
They're all 35.
Series really, really, really early. So, like,
Yeah, totally random. But... And also, Logano is 3 years older than Blaney. I feel like he should be like light years older than Blaney, but he's only 3.
Yeah, I'll say Ryan's only 30.
What?
Yeah,
Logano's 35.
How much older Joey Logano is than Ryan Blaney? I would have said like 7 years at least. Like that would have been.
I know, totally random, but yeah, Logano's 35 and Blaney's 32. Chase Elliott's 30.
But all right, boys. Well, it felt great to get back in here and film the NEXXTCAR podcast here before we kick off season 10 in 2 weeks at Daytona. But hey, I appreciate you guys jumping up here for the podcast once again for season 10 of NEXXTCAR.
Of course, Ryan. Thank you for having us on.
Yeah.
Always a blast, and glad the pod's back and NASCAR.
Yep.
Absolutely. But folks, that is going to do it for the first edition of the NEXXTCAR podcast here in season 10. A lot of information coming out tonight in this podcast. So, hey, make sure if you guys have any questions, if you're the drivers, please hit one of us 3 up and we will do our best to answer it. But that's going to do it for this one, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we will catch you guys in 2 weeks at the high banks of the Daytona International Speedway to kick off season 10 when the Gen 4 makes their debut in the NEXXTCAR Racing League. Enjoy the rest of your week. God bless and good night.